Most first-time home buyers have a hard time coming up with a down payment to buy their first home. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about down payment assistance, what it is, and how you can use it. Welcome to the Homeowner Prep podcast, where every week we educate and encourage aspiring homeowners to help them buy their first home faster. If you aspire to own a home, you're in the right place, so enjoy. Do us a favor and leave a review, a rating, and be sure to subscribe. Now let's get to this week's episode. Hey, real quick before we start, I want to ask you a question. How long are you going to wait before you decide to get started? I mean, you want to buy a house and you're earning income, so what's holding you back? Visit our website at homeownerprep.com/start. You can take an online assessment and set up a free 30-minute call, and we're going to put a plan together to help you get from where you are to where you truly want to be. So don't let fear hold you back from buying your first home. All right, now back to the episode. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Homeowner Prep podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. We are going to cover a topic that is readily available to a lot of first-time home buyers, but I think a lot of first-time home buyers just don't know that this resource is there for them. And that's down payment assistance. You know, oftentimes when it comes to buying a house, we find that the biggest hurdle for our clients is one, getting their credit together to a certain amount, but two is going to be the down payment. Saving enough to buy your first place is often a major hurdle for a lot of first-time home buyers. But luckily, we have some good news for you. There are plenty of down payment assistance programs out there that will help you buy your first home. So I want to talk about down payment assistance today because I think the biggest issue that I've seen as I go to all these different events, I attend a lot of webinars and seminars and connect with a lot of organizations that provide assistance to first-time home buyers. The biggest hurdle I see is that people just don't know that these programs exist. I sat down with some lender partners and literally we came up with more than 5 pages of different down payment assistance programs that are readily available today. In this market, when everybody's complaining about high interest rates and things of that nature, there are programs that will help you not only pay down your interest rate, but help you get into your first home, pay for your down payment, and even pay for your closing costs. So I want to make sure that you as a first-time home buyer know that these programs exist for you. Well, the first thing I want to do is actually define what is down payment assistance. A lot of times people think that, hey, I need to save money for my down payment and, I don't know how long it's going to take me to save that money. And the truth is you can save the money on your own, but the time that it takes for you to do so, what's happening to home prices? In a typical situation, they're going up. And so the more prices go up, the more you're having to save. You're constantly chasing that rabbit. There are some people out there like, hey, don't buy a house unless you put 20% down. And I totally, wholeheartedly disagree with that. I feel that you should buy a home as soon as you can. What I mean by that is as soon as you can afford to, as soon as you can comfortably pay the mortgage, then you should buy a home. How you come up with a down payment, how you come up with a closing cost is through these programs that are available to you. The reason why I say that is because not only are you dealing with the time value of money as prices are going up, but you're also dealing with the fact that you may not be a first-time home buyer by definition for long, right? So right now, as a first-time home buyer, it's defined as somebody who's never owned real estate, or if you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years. What if they change that? What if they say, nope, first-time home buyers are only people who never bought a home? Is it possible for them to change that? Yes, it absolutely is. Different loan programs, different down payment assistance programs have the right to change their qualifications. And so right now, with the qualifications the way they are, you need to figure out a way to take advantage of all these different down payment assistance programs that are out there for you. I had just recently attended an African American Alliance for Homeownership event that was held in Portland, and they are talking about all these different programs and the issues that they're having with just getting the word out. And so I'm helping in this effort to get the word out that you can qualify for a program that will pay for your down payment and it'll pay for your closing costs. And so I want to make sure that you know what these items are. A down payment that you have on a home on average is going to be at 3.5% for, the typical FHA program. 3.5% of your purchase price or the appraised value. Now, what's the difference? Your purchase price is the offer that you make. Let's say you find a home on the market for $499,000 and you make an offer for $500,000. Your down payment is going to be based on that $500,000. Now, if you get into escrow and you get an appraisal and it comes back and says, hey, this home is only worth $475,000. It's not worth $500,000. And you get the seller to agree on this new price as $475,000. Well, now your down payment is based on $475,000, not $500,000. So it can change. The purchase price can be different from your appraised value. So that is one thing to consider. Another thing to consider is not only the fact that we have 5 pages of these down payment assistance programs, but in the market today, we have a lot of sellers that are willing to contribute toward your closing costs. What does that mean and how does that help you? Well, it means less money out of your own pocket in order to buy your first place. With sellers willing to contribute, you can actually use that money to buy down your rate, which is a hot topic right now. There are loan programs like a 2-1 buy down where you can get your rate down for the first couple of years before it gets to that real price. And hopefully as rates come down over the next couple of years, you can just refi and get into a much lower rate. But you can use that money from the seller to offset closing costs. So if you take advantage of a down payment assistance program, a lot of them will not tell you that, hey, you can't use other sources of contribution, meaning sellers can still contribute to pay for your closing costs while you take advantage of a down payment assistance program to take care of your down payment. So again, the key is little out of pocket. I want to make sure that you can afford the home. Obviously, it needs to be within your budget. Every client that we sit down with, the first thing we talk about is budget. And with this down payment assistance programs that are out there, you can easily keep money in your pocket, keep it in your bank account. So that way, if there are things that come up, if there are emergencies that come up, which, home ownership, chances are they will. So you need to be ready and have some cash on hand for that. So I would always say, hey, use other people's money. Take advantage of these programs that are out there and use them. A lot of these programs, they're just sitting there waiting for people to use. Some programs are actually running out of money. Some programs have a time limit of how long they can offer. And so you want to make sure that you take advantage of these programs. The one thing that you have to realize is that you have to be a first-time home buyer. These programs are not for homeowners, that are buying their second place or buying a vacation home or, buying a vacation rental, things of that nature. These programs don't exist for those types of buyers. These programs exist for first-time home buyers. So take advantage of it while you are defined as a first-time home buyer and use this money and keep that money that you've put aside and saved and keep it in your bank account, again, for an emergency that may come. The biggest thing to recognize about these down payment assistance programs is that each one of them will have their own qualification limitations, meaning you may qualify for one but not qualify for another. A lot of folks say, hey, well, I'm kind of in this middle ground. I make too much money to qualify for this program, but not enough money to actually save up money for my own down payment. And I understand that. There's a lot of buyers in those shoes. But if you knew how many programs are out there, and if you really look at what it takes to qualify for them, you may find a program that works for you. Some programs are income-based. You may only be able to make 80% of the AMI, the area median income. Some will allow you to go up to 120% of the area median income. So the key is having these conversations with the lender and seeing what programs you may qualify for, because there's a lot of them out there and chances are there's more than you think. If you want to be connected with a lender to see if you can qualify for any of these down payment assistance programs that are out there, visit our website at homeownerprep.com/start. We will connect you with our lender. We can connect you with a real estate agent in your area. The biggest thing is that you see what's out there and see what you qualify for. If you just have a direct question that you want to ask, you can always reach us on any of the social media platforms. We tend to get the majority of our questions on our Instagram channel at Homeowner Prep. I hope you got some great value from today's episode, and I look forward to providing you with some more great content on the next episode. But until then, be blessed. If you've enjoyed this show and got some great value from it, please be sure to rate and review. And if you're checking it out on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. That really does help us to continue the show and bring in some great guests to help you on your home buying journey.